Mr. Deputy Chairman, Mr. Ong Teng Koon and Dr. Intan Mokhtar asked how we are improving our learning and training systems. Given the changing profiles of our NSFs, who are more accustomed to self-learning and team-based discussions, our systems must also keep pace to enable our soldiers to learn, train, and develop professionally. Over the years, the SAF has introduced modern instructional methods, simulation technologies, and interactive applications that enhance our soldiers' training experience. SMS Chan spoke briefly about our investment in simulators and about the multi-mission range complex earlier. Other new training facilities to be launched this year include the Murai Urban Live Firing Facility for coordinated live firing training in urban settings, the Air Force's tower and radar simulators, which feature 360-degree projection systems, and the Navy's shore-based emulators facility that will enable realistic warfare training and multiple ships simultaneously. LearnNet is another platform that has made learning more interactive and effective through portable devices. Since its pilot implementation in 2009, soldiers have been able to learn at their own pace, share feedback on training lessons, and apply their learning out in the field. A significant benefit of LearnNet is the classroom time saved. For example, it now takes approximately 4 to 5 hours less to learn how to operate the SAR-21 rifle, leaving more time for hands-on practice. With your permission, Mr. Deputy Chairman, I would like to share a screenshot of a LearnNet module. Here, you see a screenshot from an exercise to test recruits on the correct sequence of stripping the SAR-21. The exercise also brings recruits step by step through the cleaning, maintenance, and assembly of the SAR-21. The training of our soldiers has been enhanced as a result, and the SAF is now ready to extend LearnNet progressively across to the rest of our units. Fighting systems such as a Terex vehicle that we have developed in recent years also take into account the profiles of the new generation of soldiers, allowing them to very quickly learn how to operate these systems. For instance, the battlefield management system in our Terex adopts an interface that is similar to the touchscreen multimedia devices that used today are comfortable with, and our soldiers can easily see where friendly and hostile forces are on an intuitive touchscreen display. Mr. Deputy Chairman, in recognition of its commitment to being a world-class learning organization, the SAF has been awarded Asia's Most Admired Knowledge Enterprise Award for 3 consecutive years since 2010. Overall, the SAF's training transformation will allow for a more engaging and effective training experience for our regulars, NSmen, and NSFs. Mr. Ong also asked how the SAF meets the aspirations of today's servicemen. Over the years, various steps have been taken to recognize our servicemen as strategic and active contributors to the SAF, including implementing enhanced career schemes for officers, warrant officers, and military experts that cater to different aspirations and organizational needs. We provide a competitive career proposition by offering meaningful employment to maximize the individual serviceman's potential, providing unique opportunities for our servicemen to serve in operational deployments, and developing our servicemen through continuing education and professional military training. Sir, complementing our efforts in military defense is our total defense framework. Dr. Intan asked about MINDEF's plans to ensure public understanding of the importance of total defense. We agree with Dr. Intan that this is a very important aspect of total defense. That is why our total defense campaigns in recent years have sought to engage Singaporeans at a more emotional level and encourage ground-up initiatives. This year's campaign, for example, themed, "Will You Stand With Me?" carried the message that when Singaporeans stand together and work as one, just as we did during the SARS outbreak a decade ago, we can overcome any challenge. This message further came alive through a key component of this year's campaign, the Total Defense Challenge, in which 25 teams comprising SAF personnel, students, active agers, and people with disabilities worked together to complete tasks embodying each pillar of total defense. Corporate donors also showed their support for the challenge, matching in dollar value the points accumulated by the teams, and donated some $224,000 to the community chest. MINDEF also runs the Animation, a digital animation competition for youth, as part of our total defense engagement efforts. I am pleased that the number of story submissions has increased from around 800 in the past few years to a record 1,122 entries this year. We also ran the first Science 65 short film competition in 2011 and received an encouraging 72 entries. We have just launched the second run of the Science 65 and will continue to explore various platforms to allow different segments of society to share their take on what defending Singapore and the Singapore identity means to them. Mr. Deputy Chairman, Mr. Alex Yam and Dr. Intan asked how MINDEF ensures public commitment to defense and confidence in the SAF. MINDEF reaches out to grassroots leaders, employers, trade union leaders, and other stakeholders through regular dialogue sessions and visits to the SAF units, and also through the Advisory Council for Community Relations in Defense, or ACOD. In collaboration with MOE, MINDEF works with all 30 post-secondary education institutions under the SAF School Partnership Program to organize student engagement activities. To reach out to more Singaporeans, we also held the Army Open House for the first time in the city last year at the F1 Pit Building, which attracted a record turnout of 188,000 visitors. Beyond these outreach efforts, to bring the SAF closer to Singaporeans, our NS system, as a key institution of Singapore society, is the best opportunity to enhance Singaporeans' commitment to defense. NS is more than just the obligation of NSFs and NSmen. It should be the commitment of every family member and employer. Support from family members and employers is critical for our NSFs and NSmen to continue performing their defense roles. Most of us will recognize Resorts World Sentosa, or RWS, as the company that operates Universal Studios Singapore. What you might not know is that RWS actually employs more than 2,500 NSmen amongst its staff, and has put in place a range of processes to support NS, such as revamping its HR system for supervisors to efficiently manage their employees' NS commitments and allowing the recently issued NS 45 vouchers to be used at its attractions and shops. In recognition of its commendable support for NS, RWS was awarded the Meritorious Defense Partner Award in July 2012 at the Total Defense Symposium. Some of you might have also watched Second Lieutenant Zaki go through Officer Cadet School, or OCS, in the Cyber Pioneer TV web series Every Singaporean's Son Too. While Second Lieutenant Zaki had initially found the training at OCS to be physically and mentally challenging, the constant support and encouragement from his parents spurred on, and he eventually emerged as the third best graduate in his infantry cohort. Such examples underscore the invaluable role that employers and families play in supporting NS. Mr. Yam and Dr. Intan also asked MINDEF's online engagement efforts. We actively use social media to reach out to different segments of Singaporeans. There are currently nearly 400 video clips on Live in the SAF on our Cyber Pioneer TV YouTube channel, which has received close to 11 million views and 20,000 subscribers. MINDEF's vibrant online presence is also reflected with more than 33,000 users liking the Cyber Pioneer Facebook page, where we post updates and photos of ceremonies, exercises, and more. These efforts help to deepen public understanding of and support for NS and defense. Recognizing the power of social media platforms, the Army also launched its Facebook page earlier this month. Our Cyber Pioneer and Army Facebook pages are useful platforms for our servicemen to celebrate their shared stories of service, rites of passage, camaraderie, and sacrifice. This ground-up sharing of common experiences can help to enhance our servicemen's cohesion and engage them more deeply. MINDEF manages the associated risks of social media participation by educating our servicemen to use social media responsibly and reminding them that their exchanges, even on non-official platforms, should not compromise safety and security. Mr. Deputy Chairman, it is also encouraging to see Singaporeans driving initiatives which help to strengthen commitment to defense. Some of you may have watched Jack Neo's film Our Boys to Men and Our Boys to Men 2. The film struck a chord in many Singaporeans with their candid portrayal of army life, becoming the highest-grossing Singapore film of all time. This sentiment was vividly captured by Ms. Heng Su Ching, who wrote after watching the first installment that, and I quote, "Our Boys to Men tells a story that will touch the heart of every Singaporean. It is not merely just a laugh, but to remind us that our independence did not come by so easily. So love our land and never take it for granted," unquote. We look forward to more such initiatives, which will bring richness to our NS story and underscore the public support for NS. With your permission, Mr. Deputy Chairman, I have asked the clerk to place on the MP's seats additional materials that show how MINDEF has been engaging the public on defense issues. One of the materials is a DVD on the top 10 Animation 7 clips. Let me conclude by showing you this year's winning clip, produced by 4 young students from Ahmad Ibrahim Secondary School last year, when they were in Secondary 2. On screen is a picture of the team at the award ceremony last year. You can see the happy faces on the young people, and you see the clip in a little later on. It warms the heart to know that young Singaporeans understand the challenges we face. Mr. Deputy Chairman, may I have your permission to screen the video? Please enjoy. Give us a second, Mr. Chairman.
The generations before us worked hard to build up our country into the success we are today. Our strong desire for accomplishment drives us at every stage of our lives. We strive to excel in our careers, and for many of us, even at the cost of not starting a family. That is why our population is now aging rapidly. If we do not replace